everybody. This is Michele Joy from Sovereign Souls. This is my replay from the beautiful Light Summit, Activating the 5D Leader from today. So we've had a great deal of technical issues with Facebook today. I believe I wasn't the only one. So my presentation got about 5 minutes in, and unawares to me, or unbeknownst to me, should I say, I got cut off. And so I completed my live, but I was cut off, and I wasn't aware that was happening. So I really wanted to make sure that you beautiful souls had access to my topic and my presentation and the meditation that I'm going to take you through. So this is the replay, okay? So I'm an Ascension guide and a quantum healer, and what that means is that my passion is supporting other souls through their ascension process. So it is, doing the shadow work, the inner child healing, the deep core soul work that is needed so that we let go of our 3D programming and move through our ascension process. And as we're doing that, we're calling back the pieces and the parts of our higher parts and just coming back into the unity, back into the whole. And I also do quantum healing work, and it works really complementary as part of that, because as you're doing shadow work, we bring up a lot of things to the surface, and so I use my quantum healing skills to help people clear through their programming as well. So today I'm talking about releasing programs to activate the light body. And given that this summit theme is activating the 5D leader, I brought this topic through because, well, I'm obviously, the core part of my work is to help people release their 3D programming. We're all releasing our 3D programming through our ascension, but we cannot step into a 5D leadership role without an active light body. And in the 5D, we want to activate that soul body. We want to really activate and come online with that. So for the last 15 minutes or so of this presentation, I'll take you through a brief meditation, a light body cleansing and clearing, activating meditation. And we'll work through the 5 bodies, starting from the physical to the spiritual. And we will clear density from that. So I hope that's actually going to be a really beautiful experience. So once again, I want to thank you, Abigail. You are amazing and innovative. You're a wonderful soul, and I'm deeply honored that you asked me to be part of this summit. I love all of the work you do, and so thank you for continuing to hold these summits and for having me along for the journey. I am really honored to be here. And the timing of this summit actually feels really in tune, because what I've, in a sense, and what I've been made aware of through my own work at Sovereign Souls is that we're going through a really momentous consciousness shift. A shift, an expansion. And so I received the guidance that we were going to be going through this from the equinox in September. And then what was showing up was that my clients have been showing up. They've been really showing up. So some clients that I've had for a while, and also some new clients, and I'm seeing a shift in the way that they present to do the inner work. They're really showing up for themselves. And there's a confidence in them now too, that they have the capacity to really clear and to resolve their shadow work. So there, there's a lot more confidence in them doing their journey. So I do feel like we've shifted, and I do feel like there are going to be more souls more ready to step into their 5D roles, into their 5D leadership roles potentially as well, as we shed traumas and childhood wounds and these patterns of behavior that don't serve us, and that's our programming. So, once upon a time when I heard the word leader, and you might relate to this, I was always very put off, and I rejected that term leader. And what I was actually rejecting is the 3D construct of that term leader. I didn't feel equipped or capable of being a leader, and that was part of my programming, my feeling less than, not good enough, all of those kind of things. But it also, the 3D construct of the leader felt like something that just wasn't native to me. So it felt like pressure. It felt like I needed to be responsible for other people. And I used to do a lot of astrology work many years and years ago. That was my main sort of modality that I used to work with. And in my chart, there was the theme of the leader. And I wholeheartedly rejected it. And what I did is I found myself becoming a bit of a follower because I rejected the leader so much. And so that time, the time of the leader and the follower, the guru and the disciple, the boss and the and the employee, they're 3D constructs that we are moving and shifting away from. So the templates that we're bringing in, the 5D leadership templates, are more of a Wayshower template, a lead by example guidance role. The 5D leader is supportive and activating and empowering, and it inspires others and it guides from the higher heart. So when we're really activating our higher heart, which is both our higher heart and our higher mind in the 8th chakra, we are definitely going to be leading in a very different way. But also when we're embodying our soul consciousness, we are going to be leading in a very different way. So the 5D leader, when I feel into this, a 5D leader will shine their heart light onto another so that that other can find the light within them. And once that other is, discovering and finding the light within them, then they are fully responsible for bringing their light body online and doing their shadow work. The leader can't do it for them. That codependency, that disempowerment, that theme isn't there anymore because that belongs to an old paradigm that we've moved out of. A 5D leader will use an empowering stance so that that other person can develop their discernment. They can develop better energy management tools, and they're fully empowered, and they will then in turn hopefully be able to find the leader within themselves. So more and more 5D leaders are definitely needed. So there is we can't have too many, because don't forget, we don't have followers. We are all our own leaders in this new paradigm. And it's not even new. I really don't feel like the 5D is new. The 5D is, I've spoken about this before, it's actually our native organic consciousness state of reality. Actually, the 3 and 4D is what's inorganic, and we are actually unaccustomed to that, which is why, which is why a lot of Indigos and Starseeds, Lightworkers, we have quite a hard time in the 3D. It's not native to us. We weren't seeded here. So yes, as we continue our ascension journey, we need more 5D leaders. And I do feel that this consciousness shift is really moving more people into that domain. And that's why I feel like this summit has come at a really amazing aligned time, that we're talking about this theme as more beautiful souls are ready to do their inner work with confidence, with gusto, and this potentially means that they're going to be ready to step into their 5D roles. So how does this all connect into releasing 3D programs? Well, in order to step into our 5D light body and to really embody that and activate that, we need to drop density. And viewing everything as an energetic frequency, we know that we need to raise our frequency. We do that by releasing the lower stuff, that lower energetic, dense stuff that keeps us plugged into this false matrix. So programs are simply our 3D conditioning, if you like, our 3D ways of living, our 3D consciousness states. And since birth on this planet, we've been programmed and veiled within this dense reality. So whether this is your first and only life on this planet, in this 3D false reality, or whether you've had numerous, we've been programmed and veiled, and our true God self, divine identity has been veiled from us. And it's been like a bit of a maze. We have to find our way back. So now we're at the end of the Ascension cycle. We're going through that very, 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 very deep process of remembering, or awakening, as some people call it. So we're really coming back into our soul consciousness state. And to do this, we need to deprogram ourselves. We reconnect and embody our soul consciousness in the physical. Our physical bodies go through a great deal of change as well, as I'm sure you all know. And as we're dropping density and shifting from carbon-based bodies, 3D bodies, to much lighter crystalline bodies, we need to drop density as part of that. And, with trauma, a lot of people store that in their bodies. So we do need to change things up physically as well, and work with the somatic and the energetic, and work with the holistic, dropping 3D from the density from the physical, and then throughout the rest of the field as well. I've worked with a lot of trauma, both my own and helping others move through theirs. So when I'm not doing my Ascension guidance with Sovereign Souls, I'm counseling clients in the mainstream therapy field. And through that experience, what I've witnessed, and I continue to witness, is that a lot of people really take on their trauma as an identity. Sometimes even wearing their mental health diagnosis, if they have one, as a kind of label. It's almost like the word victim is kind of branded across their hearts, and it's a challenge for someone like me to see. I would really love to be ideally working with those particular clients the way that I work with my Sovereign Souls clients. And I have had Sovereign Souls clients doing their spiritual work show up the same way, but obviously I can help them and support them to distance themselves from this identity much easier by talking about everything from a soul level and doing energy clearing. A little bit harder in the 3D counseling world. And I'm really hoping that that's going to bridge, and we are going to be able to bridge that as everything moves more towards a 5D paradigm. Because can you imagine when we can start working at that level with, and that's mainstream, that is our norm. I'm really looking forward to that. So when we identify with our trauma that strongly, that I was just talking about, what we're actually doing is we're embodying it, and we're projecting it outwards, because we create our reality. Yeah. So, and our third eye is both a projector and a receiver, and so when we project out pain and suffering, we are going to get pain and suffering mirrored back, reflected back. This is how we create our reality. So, and pain and suffering is hardly 5D and high frequency. It is a lower density. It is low frequency, and the more of that we're embodying, the more we're keeping ourselves in our low consciousness reality, and we're keeping our 5D light bodies offline, of course. It also becomes much harder to do the inner work when we are fully identifying with our trauma and our victim state, because we embody the victim, and then we replay our trauma over and over, and it's actually running the show. Rather than our higher consciousness and our soul parts running the show, the trauma and the fears and the lower egoic parts are running the show. So with the Sovereign Souls work that I do with those clients, I view all trauma and fears as programs, because I see each soul for what they are, and hopefully shine my light so that they can see themselves for what they are, which is a divine source being who has the potentiality for sovereignty, who is free. But they just happen to be in this false 3D matrix reality. And well, in this reality, our quantum computers have been programmed, if you like, and they've been programmed to be in alignment with fear and suffering. But in saying that, we're still not victims to that programming. So we never want to take on that victim stance, even if there's been some galactic programming and we've been, there's been galactic histories that haven't been in the highest, and they've been, quite sad and quite manipulative. We are always aware that we're embodied souls, or we're waiting to reconnect with our embodiment of our souls, and that we can always come back. And our healing journey is fully something that we can do. It's a challenge that we can overcome. And before we came into this 3D reality, we wholly knew from a soul level what we were getting ourselves into. And we knew that we would be veiled and that we would be programmed. Sorry, I have to keep muting because of my puppy. That was the good thing about live when I was doing this morning, is I'd organised for my 2 dogs and my husband to take them out, and they were out of the house, so it was quiet. But what are you going to do? We've got to deal with what we've got, right? So sorry, she will bark a bit sometimes. She's still a puppy, so hopefully she doesn't bark too much when we're doing our meditation. So when we start to remember that we are a soul and that we can overcome these healing challenges, that's when we start to activate our light body, okay? And obviously our spiritual awakening remembering process starts. And we start to embody this inner gnosis that we are not our traumas. We are not our emotional and childhood wounds. We are not our programs. And our programs are not us. And I think of them as more of a virus. Same with fear. It's more of a virus running through our systems. It's not organic to us, but viruses can be healed. And so we're in full control of that healing process. And when we recognize that we've got limiting beliefs and there might be some imposter syndrome or some self-sabotaging, lack victim fear programming happening, we just recognize them as exactly that, programs, and we can observe that they are separate. They're separate to our core divine self, and then we're less likely to take them on as an identity and let them run the show. So if we've already done that, of course, then we just want to work to start to separate them and to start to perceive them as programming, so that we can start to reconnect and have that relationship with our deeper God self. When we've got that distance too, we can much more easily face them. And then we can course correct back to our truth, back to our divine God self. And programs aren't all bad, because they teach us much about the 3D human experience. And when we're resolving them, we can acknowledge the experience, thank them for the learning and the opportunity for evolution, and let them go. In saying that, we definitely don't want to ever bypass the emotions, the emotional pain. Avoiding the emotions only suppresses the pain more deeply, pushes it down, and it becomes this accumulative, insurmountable kind of pain, these inner demons, our inner shadow that just becomes so big that we feel like we can't deal with it because it's too immense. And so therefore we just perpetuate and constantly engage in more avoidance. So I think we've all been there. I definitely was there for a very long time in my life. We need to move the emotions out through the body. They are energy that needs to be moved. Because if we don't, this is how lower, frequencies and negative attachments, the reality of entities and things like that come about. They're just our own dark shadow aspects that do start to take a life of their own, and they do lower our frequency, making us more kind of susceptible to those attachments. And they kind of haunt us, and they kind of run the show more. And it's because we haven't stopped to face those inner demons, so to speak. So seeing them as programs and frequencies, hopefully we'll start to build some confidence to face them, to release them, and come back to the truth of who we really are at our core divine self. Another thing is that when we're viewing things as energy and frequency and programs, it really helps to cease that self-loathing, self-deprecating, self-sabotaging kind of perceptions, because what we'd actually been hating on isn't really us. It's our pain programming. And I don't mean to say that so that we can not take responsibility for our actions. But it just comes with just having a bit of compassion about where we were at that time in our life when perhaps, these pains commenced. And if we had some responsibility in that, own it and just meet ourselves where we were then and let it go, because we need to forgive. And it is caused by programming. We are in a very dense reality where pain and suffering and fear is the currency, so to speak. And our native currency is love. So we often mismanage the currency here because it's not our own. And so using the example of the 5D leader again, the way we move and shift towards that is by deprogramming, releasing the 3D leader construct. And the more we unplug ourselves from our 3D programs, the more we can liberate ourselves. And then what happens is, obviously, we're less dense and we can let in more light. We activate our light bodies. We allow more God source light to come in. We free up the distortions and blockages that are, keeping our DNA offline. And once all of this starts to happen, we start to forge that beautiful relationship with our higher self, because we are our higher selves. And then we start to, as our bodies undergo the shift, our higher self is able to come into a body which is less carbon and dense and more crystalline. So we then are our embodied higher self, walking around in the physical, where it belongs. This is actually where our higher self belongs. We become the embodied soul being. And when we tune into what a 5D reality will be like when we're sharing the world with everyone on that consciousness plane, and just imagine this. We are sharing the world with everyone in their soul embodied consciousness state, free of fears and programs, or at least free of the 3D programs. And when I tune into this, it really just, in my heart, it feels magical. It feels natural and organic. I think the more that souls start to come into their 5D roles, they'll be able to reflect back and realize that the reason why they didn't want the leadership role, or they rejected it, that notion of it, like I did, is because that was coming from a place of fear, like anxiety, feeling like they couldn't do things, that they weren't going to be successful. But with these programs cleared, there's absolutely nothing to stop the 5D leader from taking their place where they belong. So that's what I've got to say about releasing programs. So I hope that gives some clarity, some expansion, and it has provided some activation. So let's move into a bit of a meditation. We're going to do a light body cleansing meditation. So make sure that you are comfortable. Grab some water if you haven't already. And if not now, please do so at the end. You can be lying down. You don't need to see me. You just need to hear me. We are going to focus on the 5 bodies, from the physical to the spiritual, to help release the density and amplify and bring yourself more online. Okay, which is going to obviously support the transition from carbon to crystalline. I'm just going to let you know that I will be bringing in my light language through this. Light language is a very effective way to open the heart, to relieve any conflict with the ego. And I do clear through the throat, so if I'm clearing, that comes out that way for me. It does come out that way for a lot of people, so you will see me getting rid of density that way. So it bypasses the mind, the mental constructs, and comes straight to the heart when you open up to it, okay? And it's a very effective way with these data packets of light to clear and to open and activate. Before we start the meditation, just bring to the forefront of your mind, to your mental body, a program that you either have been working on letting go of, or you know that it's something that you want to start working on. Something that doesn't serve your highest. It doesn't have to be anything too big. It can be something, from your daily life that you just know is an action that you take that doesn't serve. It could be a limiting belief that you're working on letting go, or a fear of something. Just something that you know isn't in your highest and you would like to let it go. And so when we bring these things to our mental body of consciousness, it then can help us break down the energetics of it in this meditation, because we're bringing the energy, the thought, to the surface of our body. And now feel into the emotion behind this programming. How does it make you feel when you continue to engage in this programming behavior? And I know that this isn't going to be necessarily a positive emotion to feel, but we have to be okay with not feeling positive all the time. We have to be okay with feeling some less than positive frequencies so that we can clear it. We've got to feel it to heal it. So just feel into the emotion. I really like to do my shadow work this way. So it's a combination of the mental and emotional reflection to bring the energy to the surface, and then the clearing from the consciousness fields. Now, after the clearing or after the meditation, it might also mean that these things play out for you as a way to bring them more to your attention so that you can address them, okay? And you can ask your higher self to help you with that. And just tune in and receive the guidance of what programming you need to let go of. Okay, so now dropping into the heart space. As I seal a sacred container, I have already sealed the space, but I'll do it now just for the purpose of this meditation. So north, south, east, west, earth, sky, heart. We direct the corners to be sealed in the light of the One. Beloved guardians, please anchor and gatekeep our space sacred in service to the law of One, in unity, wholeness, and truth. Now starting at the heart, sending a spark of platinum light down through your pillar, your central vertical channel, your chakra channel, down through below your body and in to the diamond grid at the center of the earth. This is the 12th dimensional platinum ray grid. And I like to see this as a big, beautiful pool of liquid light. And just dip your spark of light into this pool. And just allow this light to stabilize your field, to balance you. It's a beautifully grounding energy. Now pulling up your spark of light from the center of the earth, pulling it up until it stops around 12 inches below your feet. This is your Earth Star chakra. This is the base of your Christic shield, and just allow the platinum light to spiral around your whole field, 360 degrees all the way up to around about 3.5-4 feet above your head, which is one of your galactic chakras, your 14th chakra. And then allow it to continue up all the way past into the heart of the cosmos, just intending for it to go to the heart of the cosmos, anchoring in that frequency, and then up further into the infinite God fields, the God source fields. And just anchoring here into God source's golden light, remembering you are this light. You are your own universe. So empowered in this state of being. You are embodying this light. Nushka nahata shing namahati kanahati. Ma nahaka nashi nahiti. Ma nahakashi mano toto ushkututu emanahati kiti. Kirashi naha, kirashi namana hakata ikata tushko no utu ukutu u. Mata kani ikata shita akashi nahana I. Ma naha ne hakati ikata shukuto ne hakata ma. And breathe. So bringing down from the highest kingdoms of heaven down through the cosmic spiritual sun, the cosmic diamond sun body, bringing through golden solar God source light. And just connecting with this organic golden light to dissolve the programmed density energy from your field. Now you may, if you are a seer and you do like to visualize or imagine, you may see the dense energy like black goo or smoggy black smoke, grey energy. It doesn't matter how you experience it. Just set the intention to send all the density being released back to God's source for transmutation. So bringing the golden light down now and in through the crown and into the physical body, running this light through the head, bringing it into the skull, into the bone, bringing it into the brain, cascading it and swirling around all parts of the brain, down through the brain stem, sending this golden light through the face, relaxing all the muscles in the face. Just releasing tension. Tension is density. Letting it all go. It's all being transmuted. And just relaxing this golden light throughout the face and down the throat, around the neck, the base of the neck, down the shoulders, gently soothing and easing each area that the golden source light touches as it lifts density and amplifies your frequency. Allow it to continue down the back, down the spine, down through the central nervous system of the spine, the spinal column, into the body. Bring it into the torso, into the organs, releasing all the tension out of the heart. Let the heart muscle expand into the intestines, the digestive tract, easing the stomach, letting the stomach expand, easing all contractions in the stomach, releasing trauma density, programming, anxiety energy from all the organs and the systems of the body, just fully flushing out the endocrine system, balancing the hormones, moving the golden light through the lower back, through the kidneys, the hips, down in through the pelvis, down through the backs of the legs, the fronts of the legs. You're just sending this golden light everywhere throughout the physical body, easing all tension. Maha kanashina tutu ushkuta ati eti karanaha manashana hakika no tu ushkuno te keka na hati iti maha nanaha kala la katiko ushkuto ikita I mana kashina toko u tu ushkuto na manaha kashina hinati manahi tutu kushumuna mana kashina tikiti ya no kushukuto ush. Remembering to breathe, and just allowing this golden light to saturate all muscles, easing all tension from the muscles, all through the fascia system, throughout the blood cells, the plasma, cleansing and clearing all density, Manoshko no hudahane kishimanaha, kirashinaha, kirashinaha, kushkanaha tika nate ekata I ne hakata sho mamanaha kate ishkoto utokoto okto ok. Manahaka atashina koto ushko okoto unahate ekata im. Manahaka karashina ikata ushkono Now moving this golden light out a little bit, just an inch from the physical out to the etheric body. Saturating this divine light through your etheric blueprint, setting the intention to dissolve the density program that you're ready to release at this time. Just spiraling this golden light right around the etheric body, around the blueprint, which traces your physical body perfectly. And just let this golden light weave its magic through your whole blueprint. Just sensing and experiencing a density reduction as you release and peel off layers of programming. Sending the density back to God Source for transmutation. Increasing your light and bringing your etheric body more online to amplify your overall frequency. Noshkamana kishana kia kuto manahika rakashinata ashera nahati rana kushkutu ukutu ukushimana akarashita u nehakata eskuto manahakiti kikarashita ikuto oshkono hodo shuta a. I am definitely feeling the heat now, so we're definitely amplifying. So expanding that golden light out to the emotional body now. Bringing the cleansing golden light in to the emotional body with the intention of purging and releasing more density, including trauma programs, victim programs, or sexual misery programs. Any programs around emotional instability, imposter syndrome, not worthy programs, less than, all other lower emotional pain body constructs that have been programmed into the consciousness fields via the false matrix system. See the density, or feel the density, this darker, heavy energy lift and be released and transmuted back to God Source now. Neha kushunu manahati, neha na uskunu ata manahati, kireti kikara shinata, neha tikoshunu manaha kishkonahati, meha nakana maha kana ninashina, nahata I ukutu, hit ukutu. Just remember to breathe. The inhale, exhale is another really effective way of releasing density. So when we're doing our healing work, a lot of people don't breathe freely. So breathing in through the diaphragm, pushing the tummy out, and out through the mouth. Allowing yourself to hold more light, bringing your emotional body more online. And now expanding the golden light out further to the mental body fields. The intention of purging and releasing here, saturating this field with golden source light. So allowing the light to dissolve all smoggy energy from the mental body programs, including anxiety, neuroticism, negative thought forms, worry, fears, neurological looping, rumination, all programs that keep you more in your mental body, less in your heart. Imposter syndrome, not worthy energetics, all lower mental constructs that have been programmed into the consciousness fields via the false matrix control system. Cleansing them out, releasing them out. Meha kana ishka na oto o na hati ati ati namaha. Umanaha nakana no ushkutu. Menaha ki te ishkata ishkoto kutu kushukata ikata ikona maha na karashina i te ekoto ukuta nehea akamashina titi I. Namana hoku nahi. No kutu shuna ata no kutu yukotu te kana maha kata sheta ato kutu shukutu uchikata shukutu uputa Expanding that beautiful solar light now, that gold light out to the spiritual body. Sending this cleansing light out all around this part of the auric field. Cleansing, clearing, releasing density from here. All lower energetics that are keeping you disconnected with your higher self. Keeping your soul connection a little bit offline. If there's anything blocking you from lacking trust in your divinity, in your discernment, blockages from the higher heart coming online, allowing this cleansing to take place, releasing the density, letting it go back to God source for transmutation so that you can organically expand and hold more light. Nata ishka nahi maha manati kata nahi keta karashi nahi shana ika tuku ukuto shamanaha kuto ukuto he amana karashinati Karashinatumo korashimaha na hete kamahi hete kamana hete shinae. And breathe. Now we're going to be bringing in liquid crystalline light throughout the whole auric field, through the whole system. Organic light to amplify your field and bring your light body that more further online. And if you feel into this liquid crystal starlight, it's very tingling within your system, like star crystals penetrating your aura field, activating you. Noshkamani nahi karashita no ukutusna hakama. Ushkamana shita kashutu mata karisha nahi ta ne hati kuno ushkutu ma ne hakati shuto. And just coming now back, bringing your awareness back into your heart center so that you can gently bring yourself back into the physical, becoming aware of your surroundings and just wriggling your fingers and toes, just bringing the physical energy back. And when you feel ready, gently opening your eyes. Well, I hope that everybody feels a little bit lighter, a little bit less dense. I definitely hope that this has served you in your highest capacity, in your highest light. It felt amazing to be able to bring this through. So thank you everybody who has watched this and has joined me. I'm sorry that it has to be via the replay since we had some tech issues. But I feel that the tech issues are really a sign that we are bringing in such high expanded consciousness that, they do all they can to stop that coming through, but they cannot stop what's coming. So we are the light. We are We are the higher heart, and we are embodying our souls. So much love to all of you who've been with me, and bye for now.